Hey everyone, and welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm
Got
I'm
him.
Grif.
I'm Baka.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
We're gonna start this one with going. Wait.
Roller coaster, baby.
Oh yeah, that's definitely these shows these days.
For real. Well, we don't have anything to talk about. We'll be here for 6 hours. See you tomorrow. Oh my goodness.
Too funny.
What news do we want to start out with now that we're just being all wild and crazy right out of the gate today?
I mean, can we start with the surprise of the year that like we're really surprised about? Super surprised. This is the thing. Paramount Plus has decided that there's not going to be a Halo TV show series season 3 go on.
Oh no! But it was so.
Oh no!
It was so good. The people that made it were so proud that they'd never played the games, and it definitely showed. And that was not good. Oh.
Yeah, you know, somewhere.
I like scripting earlier. She thought it was like a generic Call of Duty.
I did. I was scrolling past our news things, just like flicking past, and had the thumbnails from all of the articles, and it was the guy that's Master Chief from Halo. And as I was scrolling past, I was like, oh, I guess there's an article about the new Call of Duty. I guess that's the protagonist. Kept going. It wasn't. It was, oops. This is why we read everybody.
That's one thing about your game adaptation when someone looks at a thumbnail and goes, "Oh, generic Call of Duty."
I mean,
I still look at that
really...
picture and I just can't see Master Chief. Maybe it's because I haven't watched the show, so I can't like correlate it. But it looks like a dude wearing Master Chief's armor,
wearing Spartan armor.
Wearing Spartan armor.
Yeah.
Just looks like a standard Spartan.
Yeah, he looks like one of the multiplayer dudes. You know, and that's it.
They tried too hard. They could have just kept it simple. Like I don't know why it's so
They didn't try hard. They didn't even fucking play the game.
That's
and they used Tahoes.
They try hard to make it like
they put Chevy
more than
Tahoes
it had to
in 500 years later in the future.
I like
you could have done a prequel or something like showing Chief's missions before the whole Reach and Halo series. You could have just had all canon stuff for your show before the game stuff.
I totally agree with that.
I don't even know.
But they don't even know what canon is because they've never played the game. They've never read a book.
Remove it far enough from canon so that you're not, fighting.
Here's what I'll give. Okay, at least with like the new J-Lo movie that's out on Netflix that looks like Titanfall movie. At least they removed it from the Titanfall universe, but it's a Titan the acting's not great in it, but the special effects are really good. And I would have to say that at least the movie was halfway a decent idea. What this fucking was not a decent idea, and that one didn't have a Tahoe in it. I'm just saying. And it was set in the future.
Why did Fallout work so well? Why? Because they moved it from the lore of it. They built new lore, and now the new game is going to build off of that.
And part of why it worked so well is because the people working on it actually know the source material. Like they've played the games.
Okay, you could have done that too.
Like that, but
you could have done that too. You could have got somebody who actually played the game or was interested.
Well, that was part of the problem. Is the producers of the show were very proud of themselves for having never done anything with the game. And I think that's telling if that's one of the things that you are boasting about is, oh, we've never played the game. Look how great it is. We've never even, it's like, that's not a thing that you should be proud of. That's a thing that you should probably feel bad about because you're making an adaptation of a thing that you don't know anything about.
This is the issues we ran into.
The fans will pick it apart.
Yeah.
This pick it clean.
This is the issue we ran into early video game adaptations. Like this is not a problem that we should be having now. This is a problem 20-something years ago.
This is the issue of the original Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah,
there you go.
Pretty much, still having the same problem. People have nothing, just know that it's a title of some game that people play, and then making a show. It's like, oh, these characters.
We'll name this character the same as the character they know.
Yeah, and that's it. Between Fallout and The Last of Us coming out so strong as amazing shows, having Halo be such a departure from its source material. Like, I know you guys are big proponents of, well, there's the film canon and there's the game canon, and I understand that and everything. I know Baka and I are on the other side of the aisle, but I understand what you're saying.
Which is the wrong aisle, by the way. I stand by that. If you can't
I
separate,
said I understand what you're saying.
Okay, if you can't separate different mediums, that's on you.
But here's the thing. I don't disagree with that argument, but I also agree with her argument in the fact that it needs to be close enough to the source material
to be recognizable.
Because Halo was not.
I mean, it was recognized. Like, if you've played Halo games and you watch the show, you're like, oh, these are characters from a Halo. I recognize them, but they sure as fuck ain't anywhere near.
Yeah, but you didn't. But that's the thing about it is like you have to be close. Like Uncharted is close enough to the source material.
I think that one's stretching it, but
I'm gonna disagree with that one too because they took different parts of the games and kind of like mashed it into a movie format, which I liked. It felt like it felt good for its like narrow scope of a movie for Uncharted. It was fine for me.
I really dislike Mark Wahlberg. I'm sorry. You made him one of the focal points, and he's one of the best characters in the game, and I just can't handle Mark Wahlberg, so I can't.
Yeah, but that's an issue you have with an actor.
I know.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
that could be game.
You could be like Tim Smith is my least favorite actor, and he could play that character to where he's nominated for an Academy Award, and you would still say I can't watch it because Tim Smith's the actor.
Exactly.
It does not matter.
That part.
I didn't really care for the way that they mishmashed the story from the games into the movie either, but that's whatever. That's me. I liked the casting choice for Tom Holland. Thought he was great.
Yeah, he was fine.
That was the best part of it.
For
Tom Holland made a good Nate, and everything else can just go away. Thanks.
Well, it's getting a sequel, so it's not going.
I know,
which is fine. I like that. I like that they're kind of fleshing out this universe. Again, it's movie canon, game canon, book canon. Like everything kind of writes in its own. They share.
But again, I feel like you have enough there in that one. At least presentation wise, they were able to create. They knew where they wanted to go. Halo had no idea where they were wanting to go because they didn't even look at the source material, like not even close to looking at the source material. They went, oh, there's this guy that is he a robot or is he a person? All right, we're just going to stick him in the armor because that's what you're supposed to do. We're going to take his helmet off so people can relate that he is a person.
And blah, so that we had a reason to cast this actor and... Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not mad at the actor. I'm not. I think
he actually does a really good job.
I think the fault lies with the people who wrote the show and the people who produced it. I think that is the major downfall. And oh my god, I'm so shocked that it got canceled.
Well, I mean, the actor's a good actor. He was in Umbrella Academy, so.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it's not the actor's fault. Like I think that dude's probably just fine. Who was he in Umbrella Academy?
He's the big dude, the one that.
Is he Luther? Really?
Yeah.
I can't see that at all.
I don't think so.
I'm gonna go to IMDb on that one.
I think it's him.
Oh, you think?
I don't think it is.
It's not him.
Yeah, no, it's not him.
That does not look great at all.
Nose is...
I will say that it kind of looks similar, but it's definitely
not him. I'm looking right now. Oh, that dude was in Game of Thrones too. Really? I mean, I didn't watch Game of Thrones, but
I thought it was the same dude because he was so close to look the way he looked at him.
No, not the same dude at all.
Then I've seen him in something else, but then I look at the names of the stuff and there's
Tom Hopper is the one is Luther from Umbrella Academy.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting you mentioned that. I was just looking at Umbrella Academy earlier today.
He was Wesker in Welcome to Raccoon City, which, okay, you want to talk about bad movies. First of all, Netflix's Resident Evil was definitely did not look at the source material at all, just made something with Resident Evil on it, blah, blah, blah. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City, it was closer to the game, but still, like, it was more fun just to watch as almost like a parody.
Okay, wait, I know where I know him from now.
What do you know him from?
He was Porn Stash in Orange is the New Black. So he was the...
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, I don't think I've watched most of the things that he's been in, to be honest.
Yeah, but he was
Wesker in Welcome to Raccoon City.
Was he? I don't see that on his... What year was that?
2021.
Did I just scroll right past
it? It's one of his most recent things.
No, the guy that from Halo?
No, not from Halo.
Oh, okay, we're talking about the dude from Halo.
Oh, okay. I was still looking at Tom Hopper.
Hey everybody, this is the video game podcast about movies. How about that?
There you go.
And TV.
Well, it's entertainment game adjacent.
This conversation started because we were talking about a game thing.
Every 5 minutes, we'll re-update you as to why we're talking about this.
I would like to point out that, okay, he was in 19 episodes as Orange is the New Black, and he was in 17 episodes and was the main character.
For Halo. Well, yeah, but Orange is the New Black had a longer runtime. It's 2013 to 2019.
But I think I want to say he was only in 3 seasons or 4 seasons of that.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Because of what happens to his character, without telling people if they want to see Orange is the New Black.
Like watching like this whole thing, it's like they didn't understand what the Spartans were. They were genetically modified super soldiers with like nothing but orders in their mind, like
it's
drilled
pretty
into.
Clear that they didn't know what the Spartans were, considering there's a sex scene.
Like they have no desire for that. They have no desire for almost anything. Especially the early Spartans.
It is in the actual show, because I'm one of the few people that have watched the show.
I'm sorry.
In the actual show, the first season, it is explained away in the fact that they figure out that it's there, but then they have a way of removing that.
Oh, it's because he cuts out the thing.
Yeah, there you go. There's a thing that he has to cut out of his body, and when he cuts that out,
that feels contrived just so they could justify.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, that's 100% so they could justify the sex scene stuff or whatever.
Which I don't think that is in, like, okay, you've read the books or you know the books in the actual lore, but I don't think that's a thing in actual Spartan 2s. Like, they're genetically modified.
They're
genetics up, not implanted with some shit that,
can be removed in 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're not implanted, but they are chemically
Warhammer,
changed.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Space Marines are all genetically modified, and they have no drive for any of that. I don't even think that they can, like, they can't even reproduce.
Yeah, that makes them sterile.
I don't think Spartans can either.
Yeah, like the Spartan 2s are like sterile soldiers, period. That's it. They were designed, which is why that program was shut down. They were designed to be super soldiers genetically from the ground up. That is all they are. You can even argue in philosophy that they're not even humans anymore, because that part of them
I would disagree with that.
Like I said, we could debate about it, because technically they're there to protect humanity.
Because based on that, he wouldn't care about Cortana.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that was some of the character growth they wanted you to see in the 3 games, is that he could develop attachments. Because he also had an attachment to people like Sergeant Johnson and Keyes, who were there, that he viewed as his little squad, essentially. So,
but that's also something. Well, Grif got it better than got it from more than I did. But in my mind, like during the 3 games, you saw Chief as like this lone super soldier, where from what I've read and whatnot, he was like the god tier leader of his squads and whatnot. And we never got to see that kind of like superior leadership of him leading a squad, except for Halo 5, where he was running with his team, which I actually liked. Like watching him in command of his team was nice, because he was like, the way he spoke and the confidence and the orders, and so how direct he was nice to see such a different version of him.
I would agree with that.
Because we never saw him leading other Spartans throughout the games. He was always the lone soldier.
I just assumed that he would be good in a leadership role. Chicken and I did have a conversation like this week about it for some reason. I don't remember what we were actually talking about, why this spawned, but I was like, going
back to a prequel.
Yeah, I just imagined that he would be good at leadership because of the way that he does treat people, like,
Yeah, but imagining and seeing are 2 different things. As we never saw him be a leader until this one, or until 5.
Yes, in the actual games, yes, but for the actual canon books and things like that, you get to see it a little bit more. For sure, even at a young age. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I'm glad we got to see that different part of him, where throughout the games it was literally just the lone soldier, the lone super soldier, always the one-man army, like stopping scorpions, flipping warthogs, and destroying ships.
Unfortunately, it wasn't a good game to do that with.
I know. Yeah, talk about a fucking weird ass game. Halo 4 was okay to set up. They ended it. Halo 5 was weird, like playing a completely different main character, chasing Chief, only for the badass fight scene to end pretty quickly, and your character to get stomped by Chief, which of course was gonna happen. Spartan 4s, 3s are definitely inferior to Spartan 2s, but there's not many Spartan 2s left. So,
I don't remember what realm of that Locke was part of.
I think he was a Spartan 3.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know this is totally unrelated and was not in the thing. I'm sending it to you because it was a link to another article. But y'all want to play Warframe with me because it seems real weird and I don't know what's happening. But there's a romance system and you get to fight a boy band in space. So I'm kind of on board, and I don't even know anything about Warframe.
Yes, you do. We've played it.
I know it's a free to play like shooter thing, but this update just blindsided me. I'm sorry. I got so distracted. That's what I was looking at so intently. I was not I don't know what's happening in this anymore.
She was not paying attention to the current discussion.
I'm sorry. When Warframe's expansion includes shopping malls, romances, and a boy band fight, I had to look at it.
You don't
I had
even
to
play Warframe.
I had to know what was happening, and I still don't.
You won't unless you play Warframe.
Well, now I've got to play it. It's free, so...
You're not going to play it. It's a huge, massive time grind fest.
In order to experience that, you're going to be grinding harder than WoW.
Yeah, and that is definitely not your thing. You're like, cool, this is a neat little grab me picture. I need to put 2,000 hours in to see it. Yep, fuck that. That was a cool picture, though.
The gameplay is fantastic, but there is so much to that game.
Yes, I played a little bit of it, but no, it requires it to become your main game.
Interesting. I have no idea. Sorry, carry on. Totally distracted.
I don't know. We got distracted, sidetracked by our conversation.
I couldn't help it. That's weird. That's so weird.
I don't. It doesn't seem like it would fit in that universe for sure. I agree with that. What next? What next?
I don't know.
I guess if we're talking about weird, then Steam doesn't have as many people as we thought working for them.
I don't think that's weird. I think I expected that.
I think they do a lot of contractors too. So
yeah, the actual Steam core is what 100 and something people, 181 people.
Yeah, it is 171.
As of 2001, 79.
108, yeah.
Valve's hardware team is 41 people.
Oh, 371 total.
Okay. Okay, I was like, somebody put these numbers together for me. It's in the next paragraph.
371 total, which is absolutely crazy.
Considering how big Steam is, it's like, geez.
EA has 13,000 staff on payroll, and Steam has 371.
I guess Steam's not really developing a whole lot, though. And EA
well, again, they do a lot of contractors and whatnot. And, they're... I don't know. They've had their infrastructure set in a way where it's mostly easy to manage. And I'm not entirely sure, knock on wood, I probably just jinxed the shit out of them. But, they don't get attacked too often. Or if they do get attacked constantly, they just have enough, contract service techs guys that can, fight off them. But, if Valve comes to you, if you would try to hack Valve and they catch you and they're like, hey, you're pretty good at that. You want a contract to work with us? Help protect our mainframe?
From people like you?
Exactly. It's like one of those things where Valve is like, cool, you're really fucking good. You want to work for us?
I believe I looked this up just because I wanted to see, because it's $6.5 billion what they supposedly bring in a year. That's an average of 17.5 million million dollars per employee. $17.5 million per employee. They're not getting anywhere close to that. But you think about it, you could pay everybody that's on staff $1 million and still make tons and tons and tons of money.
To be fair, if you look at their breakdown, because someone did all the fucking math of this, it's like Valve's games team was paid a total of $192 million, so that's how much they make, with an average of $1 million on each person on their games team. That is their assuming it's not weighted to the top and lesser at the bottom. It's just like average would be $1 million per person on the whole team. That's not counting the admins. That's just the games team. Your average payroll is that. So, I mean, that's pretty high. And I mean, Valve still has this huge buffer of how much money they're making each per person anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, you give every one of those, for every one of those persons, they're making 17 million for the company, but they're only getting paid one. So they get 16.1 million in profits to move around the company elsewhere, whether to invest in other projects, hire contractors, any sort of variation to whatever it's going to take. I mean, but that's why Steam is constantly evolving in such a good way. I mean, the library's been nothing but improved. The store has improved. I don't never have any problems with downloads. Profiles are fine. I think the profile thing is what's going to get fixed next, or updated next. But yeah, Valve is a huge company. The littlest big company there is out there.
Oh man.
It's well managed.
Yeah.
You can make a whole lot more money, and so can everybody that works for you, well, theoretically, if everybody's efficient at their job.
Yeah, and this came out because of a lawsuit going on between Valve and Humble Bundle.
I was wondering how that came out. I didn't see that part on the article.
Yeah. Also, full disclosure, we use the Eurogamer site, and they are Humble is now owned by IGN Entertainment, which also owns this website too. So IGN owns Humble Bundle and Eurogamer now. So
interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So just a disclosure from the article that we're getting this from is probably somewhat of a biased article. But yeah, there are the lawsuit between them is Humble Bundle wants the Steam what's it called? I can't think of the word for it. The Steam damn it, can't think of the word.
Client?
No, not client. Stipulation. It's a word like stipulation in a contract form. Clause. The Steam clause that makes it so that if you put a game on sale anywhere else, it has to go on sale on Steam too. You can't ever sell a game somewhere else for cheaper and not put it on sale on Steam too.
Right.
So that's what Humble Bundle is trying to fight. That's why they have a hard time with some of their Humble Bundle, some of their bundles, is because if you put the game in a bundle and what the value of the game in the bundle, it has to be sold like that on Steam too, so that people have options. So, but that's also to like push people to buy it on Steam too, always.
It is, but I see the argument both directions on that. I'd be interested to see how that one pans out.
Yeah, it's been since 21, I think it was. Yeah, the 21 is when the lawsuit started, and you know how American bureaucracy is real slow.
No, not at all.
Yeah, so. But yeah, that's how we got that information. And the figures and whatnot were pulled too, so they are not out there on the internet anymore, or the document isn't. But we already have it, so nothing dies on the internet. It just gets moved.
Relocated.
Pretty much. Once it's on the internet, it's on the internet.
Word. What else?
I thought that was a cat. Sorry.
I mean, I've been sitting here feeling like I'm talking to myself for the last 10 minutes or so.
No, I was listening.
And I was talking back. Thank you very much.
Yeah, all right.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about? There's two things to talk about. Xbox. You want to talk about that?
Yeah, we can talk about the Xbox stuff. Yeah, it looks like it's a combo of stuff anyway, right? So
yeah, kinda.
Game Pass prices are basically going up, and as the prices are going up, they're changing the tier system. And before you had basically their base model of Game Pass for Xbox, and then you had the ultimate version of it as well. Same thing for PC side, and now you're gonna have, is it 3 different versions or 4 different versions?
3. Well, there's core, and then whatever the upgrade is in ultimate. So I think it's 3, right?
I believe that's correct.
Let's see.
Can't
Xbox
find
Game
the
Pass
thing.
for console will be shuttered for new users only. Current Xbox Game Pass for consoles will be allowed to maintain their subscription. as well as day one games and hundreds of titles. So if you have Game Pass now, the way you have it is going to stay the same, period.
Mm-hmm.
But after September 19th, I think that's the day.
Yep.
I don't see where it lists all of the individual ones.
I went to the Windows Central article on that Eurogamer page, and it took me over to where it's all listed out for me.
Oh, okay, thanks.
New users on Xbox Game Pass after September 19th will have to do the new standard. Includes the back catalog, no day one games, and placed at $15 a month, and includes Xbox Live Gold for multiplayer. It doesn't include the cloud gaming that Game Pass standard is okay. That one's launching in September. So your basic version is going to be $15, which I find really ironic because remember way back in the day when we had to buy Xbox Gold to just play online games and it was like $15 a month? Now, at least nowadays you're getting a bunch of games included in that. You're just going back to paying for Xbox Live Gold.
They started that with games with Gold and you'd get like 2 games a month or something like that. And then it kind of, like, I think that's where
Xbox Live
Game
Gold,
Pass
I think it just originally was just multiplayer.
Yeah, it was originally just multiplayer, and then they started games with Gold, because that started while, like, right after I think I started playing on Xbox.
Yeah, it was the predecessor to Game Pass.
Sony was doing their own thing of like free games every month with their if you paid for the service, so they started doing that to compete.
Yeah.
That's because PlayStation Plus wasn't required to play online.
Yep.
No, it wasn't required, but if you did it, you got free games, and
right.
Microsoft was like, okay, well, if you're paying for our stuff anyway, you might as well get some games as well.
Right, but the Sony's servers were also on PlayStation 3 were also horrible.
Games with Gold started in 2013, July 2013.
Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, I thought it was a little before that, but
that'd been what, PS4?
It launched with the
like Xbox 360.
Xbox 360,
I mean,
and then Xbox One games were added in 2014, and by 2022, it doesn't offer, like, you can't do it with the 360 anymore.
So, but yeah, that's how that's gonna work. So basically, they're going back to what it was before all those years ago. It's just a multiplayer and in the games for Game Pass. It's like games with Gold on steroids. You're just getting the multiplayer and a bunch of games
on the base model. Yes.
Yeah,
on the base for new users after the base model. Everybody else who still has Xbox Live for console right now, yours is staying the same. You're grandfathered in. Congratulations! Don't cancel it.
I think you can stack 13 months of it, and after that, it changes for you too. I think Oak and I were reading something about that earlier in the week.
They'll only allow existing users to stack for 13 months. That's correct.
Yeah.
Using prepaid cards.
That is for. I think that's for using prepaid cards and whatnot. But for the people who have the Xbox Game Pass the way it is now, you get to keep it indefinitely. Like but it even says right here, if you cancel the outgoing Game Pass for console, you will lose your entitlement. So if you ever cancel it, you lose the option to do that anymore. You'll have to go back to the new basic version. So as long as you keep it the way it is. As long as you keep it the way it is, then you can maintain your fancy version of Game Pass for console. But if you cancel it, you lose the fancy version. You have to go to the basic version.
For now, they'll change that.
Yeah, I'm sure
they'll probably change it.
There'll be a forced upgrade in the future.
They'll be like, remember when we told you
a downgrade
for 13 months?
How the hell did this be a downgrade?
Well, there'll be a forced change.
Yeah. And then, from September 12th, Microsoft will only allow existing users to stack Xbox Game Pass for console for up to 13 months. So if you already have more than 13 months, it's not going to be impacted. So make sure you get all of the months that you want on your account before September 12th. Then you can't go over 13 months. I wonder if they'll just shut it off. So, because, why you're down to 12 months, just add another month. Down to 12, you're paying for a year in advance, or are they going to be like shut you off at 13 months? You got to wait for 13 months to run out.
You got to wait for 13 months to run out.
Yeah, that's what the stacking thing means. Like, it doesn't mean you can continuously stack. It means you can have 13 months on there right now, and then it will not allow you to add any more until it's expired.
Nintendo is really dumb with that too, by the way. Just want to preach that out there because I tried to shut off my Nintendo Switch Online thing back in March or tried to change it, and you're not allowed to do anything to it until it runs out, and then you can change it. I was so frustrated.
You can change it, but you lose your
I
time
tried. I couldn't do anything to it. I had the year family plan thing, and there was nothing I could do to change it.
Because I upgraded mine to the
yeah, you can
family
upgrade.
one.
You can't go down.
Yeah,
There's
but when
nothing
I
you can do to go
upgraded the
down.
family, I lost the months I had left on the other one.
Yeah, I just couldn't do anything to it. It's like you need to wait until July something to change your plan.
Yep.
You some bitch.
Oh,
Xbox Game Pass Ultimate will not be changed, but it will get a price increase. It still includes PC Game Pass, day one games, hundreds of games, cloud gaming, but it's getting a price increase to $19.99. Right now, you can still 3-stack prepaid cards.
And PC Game Pass is not changing right now at all.
No, well, it is. It's getting a price increase.
Well, yeah, I think it was like a couple bucks or something.
It's $9.99 to $11.99, which I still say is like unbelievable for the value.
Well, yeah, but the PC Game Pass will still get day one launches and things like that too.
Yep.
I guess it's because we don't need the core, so nobody would buy that tier.
You don't need live.
Yeah,
no,
we don't. Yeah.
I guarantee, I'm 100%, 99% certain that almost all, like 99% of the accounts that have Xbox Game Pass on PC just has the PC version. There's no reason to have the core version if you just play on PC.
Well, yeah, if you are just on PC.
Yeah, if you
that's
just
what
play
I
on
meant.
PC.
That's not really true. There are some people that are going to have it because it comes with EA as well.
The core?
Not, well, it wouldn't be the core, like the ultimate version, not core.
Well, that's what he's saying is there's not a reason for them to split it into two for PC because nobody would need that tier.
No,
which is what we said, but he's saying it differently.
Okay, I got you.
He's saying what we said in different words.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, there would be no reason because there's no Xbox Live.
Exactly. You don't need Xbox Live for PC.
Yep.
I don't.
Just don't. No, you don't.
But you will continue to get day one games, and then if you have the ultimate version of the PC Game Pass, then you'll get the EA games as well.
I just, it's interesting. So the PC Game Pass is what you have for your PC and whatnot, and you buy it like this. But there's also
I hope I don't have it for my Xbox. That'd be a little weird.
Xbox Pass Core, which is Xbox PC. You have PC Game Pass and Xbox PC, Xbox Game PC. That is going to confuse people.
I don't like that.
When they go to do a sub on there. I don't know, because it's Xbox Games PC, which is the Pass Core, or PC Games for Xbox. I don't know why they chose that if it's not to confuse people, because it's
you're talking
Xbox
about the Pass Core wording. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the wording
that's because
of it.
That's why they dropped Xbox a long time ago on PC.
Game
because it
Pass
used to be
Core.
Xbox Game Pass for PC.
Yeah,
and they changed that to PC Game Pass because people didn't realize that you could get Game Pass on PC, even though it was announced on every freaking commercial ever.
Who watches commercials? That's what ad blockers for.
And then, but yeah, I mean, your annual price is just your Xbox Live Gold. That's all that is. So you're looking at $60 is what it used to be. Now it's going to $75. And when in 2003, when Xbox Live became a thing, it was $60 a year. It's now 20 years later, and you're going up $15. Shut up.
I mean, like,
think of all the increases that have happened in Live, and you're complaining about that one.
Like, there are definitely prices increases on this stuff, but I mean, that's kind of the nature of the beast. I mean, at least Xbox, the PC Game Pass, which is what I will advocate for, gives you a lot of games. A lot of games. If you're bored, you can find something on there to play, whether it be like a long-term RPG or a jump in and race some game or an FPS shooter. Like, you got something for everybody across it.
Yep.
And for 12, if you play at least one game a month, you're automatically saving money. $12 to play a game.
You said Ultimate's going to $20 a month, right? Yes. Okay. So that would be the equivalent to PlayStation Premium, and PlayStation Premium currently is $17.99 a year, or you can pay $120 yearly to be able to do it. But all it's going to give you, if I have Ultimate, if I have Xbox Ultimate, I get both Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass and EA's Vault
and Xbox Live Gold.
Yes, and you get all their cloud services as well.
Yes, that's
so if you're wanting to do cloud gaming, which my daughters like to do a good bit, then that's available to you as well. Which PlayStation, with the premium, you get a back catalog of PSP, PS2, PlayStation, PS3 games that are all available through cloud streaming. And then plus all the stuff that's available on their others. And they don't really have, some games are day one launch and a lot of them are not. When it comes to PlayStation, where you would get day one launches on Xbox. So I don't think people are really looking at the value they're getting out of this and the extra couple bucks that they're going to end up spending a month. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a change, and it is what it is. Natural evolution over the years.
Mm-hmm.
I like that some of the comments are like, I felt too pressured that I had to keep playing games, so I stopped spending the money. And it's like, that's how subscription services work. If you don't need the subscription, you cancel it. Like,
yeah, you turn it off, turn it back on later. I don't understand what your
argument is. It's not do you feel pressured, it's do you need the subscription. Nobody's pressuring you. If you're not playing games, then don't play. Like, that's fine.
I think the only pressured one now would be the one that they're eliminating, that if you get rid of it, that you lose it completely. That's the only pressure I can see now.
Yeah.
You know?
Like that, yeah. I mean, as long as you keep your Xbox Game Pass for console, as long as you keep that, you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you get rid of it, and I understand that's gonna suck. You're gonna lose your entitled version of the Game Pass, but it is what it is. Just be happy that they're grandfathering you in instead of just removing it entirely.
That's true. And PlayStation's changing their tiers a little bit, aren't they? Too? Isn't that what this other one is about?
No, the other one's just comparison.
Oh, okay. Just comparison.
This was from 2022.
Okay, I was like, I don't see a date thingy on here, but I also don't know. Oh, it's up at the top. I scrolled past the date because I thought it was underneath the title, and it wasn't.
Yeah, it was just for comparison for us, because one of the things that one of our articles on here is the FTC
throwing shade
about the whole price increase.
Why?
Price increase and product degradation, because one of the big things that Microsoft said was that you'll be able to do Call of Duty day one, and it will give more access to the game to everybody. And so what does Microsoft do? They lower the base version for console and remove day one.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
For the base level. For
the base level, which is kind of pushes people up to get the day one stuff.
Unless you already own the base level, in which case it's not changing that. It's for new subscriptions only.
Yep. So, I mean, I understand what the FTC is saying, but it kind of sounds like a change over here at Microsoft, and yeah, it's probably not the greatest thing changed for Microsoft could do, but anything that they do, the FTC is going to be like, look at what they're doing, it's doing it wrong. It's like, okay, I get where you're coming from, but this is not the time to go with the pitchforks. Like, wait till a bigger thing happens, and then come out with your torches and pitchforks.
Well, and I mean, one of the things they have on here is the FTC barely mentioned subscription at trial, instead focusing on the theory that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from Sony's console.
I know, right?
Yeah, the district court correctly rejected that theory, which is now further eroded by Microsoft and Sony's 10-year agreement to make sure that Call of Duty stays on PlayStation. Like, it's just the FTC's mad they lost that argument.
Yes,
I think 100%. Is what it is, and so they're trying to be like, no, we can't lose and still be nice to you. It can't happen. It's like, you came after us, not the other way around, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at you for me being mad at I'm mad at you for me being mad at you. Like, instead of just, or what? The never-ending cycle. Never-ending cycle. Last one's on here. I actually did not see that this was even on here before, by the way.
Bioshock 4?
Yeah. Bioshock 4 screenshot leaks are online.
It is a picture.
It's a crappy picture.
And apparently, from what I've read, that this one is one that has leaked previously, too. So it's just like, oh, we forgot, but here it is again kind of thing. And it's just a screenshot. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'm also looking forward to Bioshock, whatever they do with it, but this is kind of not a thing. Also, on first glance, it looks like the Tempest is behind it from Mass Effect, but the font is slightly different, and it's misspelled, so it's not. But it is one of those things where it's like, well, that's an interesting choice that y'all made.
Yeah, it's kind of a mediocre screenshot. I mean, it doesn't even really show anything.
To be fair, this would be a pre-alpha version of the game if this is in fact actually from a Bioshock game. It has a ricochet shotgun, which is kind of neat. Like, that's interesting.
I'm assuming that's the lighthouse.
Yeah, I would assume maybe that's what that is, but kind of looks weird for a lighthouse. Maybe we're in space. Who knows?
Artistic design, yo. Like I was telling Grif, I think if they could have had like the forethought early on when making Bioshock, they could have done it into an anthology series. Or, do Bioshock Infinite as first, and then you set up the whole, there's always a man, there's always a lighthouse, there's always a city, and then do an anthology all through the different timelines of showing different versions of Rapture or Columbia all over the world, and then have a DLC of playing the side character, or Elizabeth, basically, kind of being in each of those cities behind the scenes while you see your main character moving through the main story, so you can kind of always see the connection between the worlds or the cities. Like, that'd be pretty fascinating. Like, the cities are connected.
Extremely complicated, but yes.
Like, the cities are all connected, and as you're playing through the main story, you're kind of looking around and seeing if you can see Elizabeth somewhere in the city or catch a glimpse of her while she's moving through the timeline. So I think that'd be pretty interesting, pretty neat. But, when you're designing a game, you've got a view, and it's hard to think of forethought for the entire thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't even think Infinite was a consideration when they made the first one, so...
Yeah. Sometimes that works out well enough, but I think if you come into a trilogy or a beginning and end at the start and make it all, you can come out with a great game. It's kind of like what happened with Halo 4. They were like, yeah, we got this great idea for a game, and they didn't have the rest of it planned out. They're like, okay, well, let's just toss this into a comic and then start again. It's like, bro, make all 3 games, do your storyboards, or at least do the main first game, and then you could storyboard off for the next couple of games. Then you can kind of develop all the way along. They just made the first game, all they saw was the first game, and then they were like, just toss it away, we don't have anything else made anyway, it's a comic to wrap it up.
The crazy thing about that to me is the fact that they had books that they didn't take place, they took place in the past of the universe that have those characters in it. So there's a base that's there, and obviously if they created a couple comic books to finish it off, they knew what they planned on doing for the other games, but they just decided not to finish that game because it probably didn't sell at the level they wanted it to sell at, or whatever it happened to be, But it's like, and I hate it too, because that 4 is actually a good game. It was set up. It was a good foundation. It was fine for me. I mean, I thought the whole Cortana thing being rampant, like, okay, you're setting it up. That's fine. Whatever we're doing, we're kind of setting it up. You could have, ran away with it, but instead they ran it into the comics and left. It's like, okay, I will never not be salty about that. By the way. You wasted all that production time, all that setup, just to fucking cancel it and put it in a comic book just to get rid of it.
To be fair, it's not the only game that has decided to go, yeah, let's just dump the rest of the story in a comic and move on. Mortal Kombat did that one.
Yeah. I like it the other way around, where games start out as comics and then they become games.
I can see that.
Like, I mean, a lot of Dark Horse comics become games.
Listen here, Darksiders.
Well, they can do comics, but like you don't have to like just go, oh well, we'll just continue the story, and especially like in between two games where they're trying to just fill in the story with the comic book or something. It's like, not everyone that plays the game is going to read the comics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Two totally different mediums.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, like if you're adding on to information, like background information, not a big deal.
Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I don't mind like the supplemental books where it's like this is prequel stuff, or this is stuff that's happening at the same time as the game somewhere else, just so that you have more context or more, world building outside of the game itself. I don't mind that stuff, but yeah, definitely don't be
That's
like,
additive.
we're wrapping this up.
That's
Yeah,
additive. That's great stuff. That's greatness. That gives more people kind of to go outside of the game and learn more. But when you basically 90-degree out of the game and into the comics, it's like, okay, that's kind of lame.
Well, don't you people have comics?
Which, for the record, if you 90-degree out of the game into a comic and then you come back into it and make another game, that's fine too. You come out and you go back in. That's supplementive again, because then you're just adding into the game
if
verse.
you can have something in game that tells you what happened in the comic. Like, because not like Oak said, not everybody's gonna read it. Not everybody's gonna go out of their way to go find it. So it needs to be something that can still be told to you in world if it's important. Like, just not knowing what happened after Halo 4, going straight into Halo 5 with them being like, you should have read the book. I mean, that's kind of, pump the brakes a little, y'all.
Just put terminals in like they did with the original Halo. They just stuck terminals in there and was like, here we go. Or was that Halo 3? One of them, they stuck story content into terminals just to make it make more sense.
I can't remember where that's at.
It was one of the anniversary editions.
Yeah, it was in
The anniversary. Okay. I know they added stuff in.
It was the first anniversary edition has it in there. I'm pretty sure.
Is that where it's at? Yeah, I think that's where it started. But I know there are some that you can find in, I want to say, the Master Chief Collection. There's an achievement for getting all of the terminals in Halo 3, but I can't remember if that was in base Halo 3 or in the Master Chief Collection version.
There was terminals in one of them that is base, and I want to say it's Halo 3.
It might be 3, because one of them is on the Arc level, and it's I hit it accidentally and crashed my game.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I think it's base 3, because I remember getting that stuff with y'all.
Okay, that must be where it's at.
Halo 3 was the first one I played.
And now you've played them all, and you've murdered me in all of them.
Technically, we haven't finished 2, but...
We did finish 2. Oh, it's a cutscene at the end. Yeah, the cutscene won't play in multiplayer. So you'll have to load that up and do that yourself. Apparently, that's
it's Halo. It's Halo 3. Halo 3 is the first one to incorporate terminals.
Okay, I knew it. I knew there was one on the Arc. I know exactly where it's at. I could take you to it right now. I couldn't tell you how to get there, but I could walk you to it.
Evidently, the terminal content, the terminals actually cover the Didact and Librarian story to lead into 4.
Yeah, they set up. They were like, let's set up some more for Halo 4. We did it. We've got a foundation. All right, let's get rid of it.
That may have been one of the step, because Bungie still did 3, so
yeah.
That may have been one of the stipulations, is to add lore.
Did Bungie do 4, or was that 343 at that point?
No, Reach was their final one.
Okay.
Yeah, Reach was the end, which was beautiful. Reach is one of the greatest
Halo.
Reach is one of the greatest, in my opinion, like one of the best Halo games out there. I kind of boxed it up and put it separately because it's part of the Halo franchise, but it's its own story beginning to end. Like, there is no continuation or anything else. Like, you get this sense of calm serenity at the beginning where you're just out on a patrol mission, and then it's the end. Like, how beautiful that game is. I cannot praise it enough. It is good. I need to play it with Smitty and whatnot because he hasn't played any of the Halo games. Reach is one of those games that belongs on everybody I loved this games list.
I was trying to remember his name. Frank O'Connor is who moved from Bungie to 343 to work as the franchise director. So he already had that information from Halo 3. to move over to 3-4-3 to continue the story. So most likely that transition was there. Now the implementation might be different, but the idea was there. So
well, I mean, do we have any other news related topics to speak upon?
I don't think so.
That should be the last one.
Do you want to talk about games we've been playing?
Sure.
Okay, cool. We've been playing a lot of stuff and things.
Really, what have we been playing?
I know what Oak's been playing. Go ahead and go off on your football shit. Go, do it. Oh, he's got to sit down for this. It's the important conversation. Hang on, just give him a second. Right. Give him a second.
All right,
is this nap time? All right, here, let me lean back.
Shut up.
All right, so for 11 years, those of us that are football fans for college football have been waiting on NCAA football to come out. And it finally did. There are issues with the game, and I'll discuss a little bit about those, but I'll also discuss the stuff that I do love. I do love the fact that they've added individual atmospheres that are very famous in the industry. I mean, in the college world, in the football industry. For instance, one of the things that Colorado is very famous for is they have their mascot is a buffalo, and they have a buffalo that runs out in front of the team, so you get to see that. They have same thing, Bevo, which is a big steer for Texas. He runs out for them. So they do a really good job with atmosphere. Red asked the other day, one of the things, he was like, what am I hearing about Penn State when it comes to this game? So one of the things they've done for big games, some of these college football fans all dress up a certain way. Penn State, to me, and I am not a Penn State fan, I am not a Big Ten fan at all, which is the conference they're part of. It is one of the most iconic things in college football to me, because everyone in the stands dresses in all white. Some of them paint their face white, their arms white, everything else completely white, and are just absolutely as loud as possible in their giant Erectaset version of a freaking stadium that they have.
Erectaset.
And it is just an absolutely awesome atmosphere. And they've done a really good job of portraying that in the game, according to everybody that's playing in the Big Ten. And which I'm really, I'm excited for. They've revamped the passing a little bit. The passing is set up to it's supposed to be more precise in the fact that you can kind of lean left or right with the joystick and kind of get your wide receiver to go that direction, which is nice. The gameplay is a little quicker than something like Madden. Madden to me is boring in the way that it's designed, and it's only
Fuck
because
you, Madden. God, put people to sleep.
Here's the thing: is like in every even a powerhouse program in college football, you're gonna have 4 or 5 really good players on each side of the ball, and then everybody else is they're not really mid. They're going to be higher than mid if you're a powerhouse, and they're going to be lower than mid if you're not. And so you kind of have to work around that. But the gameplay seems to be a little faster because your running backs might be your better player, the quarterback might be a better player, wide receivers might be a better player. So those key players. Mm-hmm. Where if you're playing Madden, every single person that's on the field on both sides were the best in college and now playing professionally, so those teams are pretty even. So it becomes a little boring in the fact that it's harder to score. It's more challenging in that respect. There are some things. There's 2 basic ways to play solo-wise. There's one what they call Road to Glory, which is where you create a character, and then you decide, do you want to be a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, or 5-star. The 2-star is, they call it the underdog series. You are not going to be able to actually step foot on the field for 2 to 3 years of your college career if you start off as an underdog, just because of the way the game is built. That needs to be revamped a little bit, because even if I'm playing for a shitty team, I should be able to start, and for some reason they've set it up where you can't. So I'm hoping they revamp that. And then, but you get to play 5 years in college if you want to, in the Road to Glory, and as one position and one position only. So whatever position it is you choose, that's the position you play, and they put you on, take you off accordingly. of the field. But and then you have dynasty mode. Dynasty mode allows you to be able to be either an assistant coach, so an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, or a head coach of a particular team. So you set that up. You set up how you want your offense, how you want your defense, what your philosophies are. And then they've revamped that a little bit to where, what kind of coach are you? Are you a recruiting coach? Are you a motivational coach? That type of thing. If you're head coach, you can hire and fire your offensive and defensive coordinators and hire coordinators. You're fired, and do that type of thing. There are some buggy issues that they need to kind of fix. I think it's neat because I do know that they're re-recording some of the commentation and stuff that's going on there. The commentators are redoing some of their stuff because they're like, I didn't do it with enough enthusiasm, or there's stuff that we didn't think about that we're trying to add back into the game, which is kind of neat that they are working on in that respect. They did also create an ultimate game, or ultimate team, which is what they do for all of their freaking games, which I absolutely hate, because that's their cash grab, their money grab, their microtransaction stuff. It doesn't feel forced like it does in FIFA. So I'm happy with that. Like, it doesn't pop it up constantly. And then they've just released a beta version of what they call Team Builder, which allows you to go onto a particular website, build a team however you want to, create a random college, and then you insert it into the game and play from there. I've enjoyed the hell out of it. I've played a lot more hours in it than I should have. I even played 2 games before we started today.
No.
Well, I know. Well, you know.
Not on your weekend. Oh my goodness. How dare you play video games in your free time?
It's horrible. Yeah, so definitely, if you're a football fan, a college football fan, and you like video games and you're like into sports stuff, I highly recommend it. But it is where, just know you're going to get some bugs and a little bit of quality of life stuff that needs to change a little bit, and hopefully they'll fix it. But it's EA, so that's up for grabs. But it is the Bunker Boys, and our Bunker Boys are back. They can finally eat again. It's been 11 years they haven't been able to eat, and so now they can. So,
I'm just imagining we need to re-record some of the commentator lines. Why? Well, listen to this one. And he scored again. I think the
crazy thing is, it's the people that are doing the commentate, because they're professionals, right? They're the ones going back to EA going, hey, I want to re-record this because I don't like the way it's delivered. And I think that's neat, but it's like,
I just think it's funny.
It's not EA trying to make their game better. It's the guys that are professional that are going back to try to make the game better, which, there's a lot of people playing it for sure. And it's pretty, it's really fun. Like, it really, really is fun. I've enjoyed it.
I'm glad that you're having a good time.
Yep.
I'm sorry that you don't have anybody in our group to really bond with over that, since none of us play it. I'm sorry, but I am glad that you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it is only, just so everybody knows, it is only on console, and everybody else is a PC gamer. And so I'm glad they did that.
That's not why we're not playing it, though.
No, it's not. It's not. But it is where I'm glad that they did that, though, for the console part of it, because that's less headache for everybody. Because even though it is probably very likely that you can cheat on a console somehow using some type of outside thing, it is very unlikely, because it's a lot more difficult than just putting it on PC and somebody running a program to kind of boost. So I'm kind of happy that that's what ended up happening.
You just called us PC gamers cheaters, and I take offense to that, man.
He's not wrong. It is a lot easier to cheat on games in PC. 100%.
Yeah.
That's just fact right there. The fact.
We play regularly with mods and our stuff that lets us cheat. Like, we play Lethal Company with a mod that will let us have up to 32 people. We don't know that many people, but we could.
We play up to 8 though. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
8 people. And I'm never ever listening to Red again. He killed me. And I'm pretty sure it was on purpose, and then I cursed him. I soul linked him to our child who was sick, so he got sick too. So screw you, Red. I'm never listening to you again. Nobody ever crossed me.
I tried to stop you. I tried so hard to stop.
I even looked at, I was like, there must be something else between, because I looked at you. I could see you and Kat or whoever it was that was standing next to you down the hallway. And I looked down the hallway, and I knew there was another hall that, cross-sected that one. And he's like, you got to jump over the ooze. And I'm like, but why? He must see something on the thing. There must be something between me and them. If I go that way, I need to do what he says. And then I died.
Well, and no, and so I was from Red's perspective because I was standing over watching him.
Don't you
swap.
defend him?
I'm not defending.
Sounds like defending.
It's not defending. So it all happened in slow motion on my side. Okay. I'm just going to say that right now because he was following Chicken. Okay. He wasn't following you. He was following Chicken, but he knew where you were at.
Mm-hmm.
And he was following Chicken, and Chicken was going down a hallway, and then he saw you at the top of the hallway with the ooze in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
What he couldn't see was Chicken was turning the corner and going up, and behind you was a door that you just had to run out, and you could have went the same direction Chicken was. Well, in between that, he switched to you, and while he was switching, he was again, slow motion on my side. You're gonna have to jump over the ooze. And you went, and then he went, no, wait, because he saw Chicken popping up behind you.
Yeah. I trusted him.
Death.
How this went
him.
on my end, I went back. I think it was for Kat. I went back for Kat, and I was on the walkie, and Red's like, Grif is going to have to jump to get to where you're at. And I was like, okay. And I said, Grif, you're going to have to jump. And then I went down because in my mind, I was like, I think there's another way to get over there, but I'm not entirely sure. So I went down and came around. And as I turned that corner, I was like, oh, you're right there. You don't have to jump.
Again, I trusted him.
She looked at me.
I saw you.
Looked at me.
It's because I knew it was a long hallway. There was dark between the two of us with no light. I didn't have a flashlight. And I knew there was a hallway that went across. I was like, he must see something in that hallway that goes across that I need to avoid. No, he just was looking at it wrong.
I mean, that right there is actually completely legitimate, because if there would have been one of those little ceiling bugs up there, then
yeah, I listened to him because I thought he saw something. He didn't see something. He was just looking at it wrong. Ah!
Yep. It was fun. Like, I'm sitting on my side, and I was like, oh, she's going to kill your ass.
Yeah. He was laughing so hard after that.
Yeah.
And then he wasn't, because then he got sick and had strep throat, just like my child, because I soul linked them. That's right.
Or the greatest event in Lethal Company history for us.
Uh-oh.
We decided to get the bee's nest first.
No! I didn't even know what happened with
these
that.
motherfuckers...
Not me! Don't say these!
Okay, how this worked is I ran past it, and I was like, oh, there's bees there.
Yeah,
and then
I heard the bees and
the bees
avoided.
were following me, and I looked back, and somebody is running off the other way. I'm like, oh, they must have got the nest, and I just left. Like, I left, I went in, I found a bunch of stuff, hoopla, hoopla. I died to the bracken, I think it was that one.
You did, the bracken grabbed you.
Yeah. I died because I heard Grif go, oh no! And I looked because the bracken scurried away, and I thought it grabbed her. So I was like, oh, maybe I can find out where it's taking her and I can help her. And I look back and I go to run down the hall because it turned the corner, and I turn that corner and he's standing right there, and I'm like, oh.
Hello, sir. He's like, hello.
And he just grabbed me and took me away. I was like, well, shit. That sucks. Here I am trying to be a hero, and I just get grabbed by the bracken and taken away.
He didn't take you away. He just snapped your neck and left you there.
So I died. So I went ahead and started scrolling through people, and I don't know who it was on the
Snitty, I think.
Ship. Snitty was coming up onto the ship, and because there's already, like, I didn't realize there were 4 people already dead in the damn thing, and I was like, what happened to you guys? And they're like, the bees on the ship, and I was like, what? And Snitty gets on the ship, and he's like, hello? And there's just, like, the cabinet is in front when you come onto the ship, and there's just blood splatter all over the left side wall and all over the floor, and there are dead bodies just piled right there. I'm like, what in the fuck happened to the ship? Oh my god. He's like, hello? And he peeks around the corner, and there's a bee's nest, and he's like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. This is crazy. And I don't know who it was. One of these turds, while Snitty was sitting there crouched and whatnot, one of these turds just beelines it, no pun intended, beelines it into the ship, runs behind the cabinet, and is like, oh no, there's bees, turns around and books off, and Snitty's like, oh god, and they kill him immediately. And I was like, oh my god, there goes our only hope.
I think it might have been Baka. It was Baka and I were still alive.
I was running I was running away from something.
It might have been
somebody flipped the switch and went. Who?
Well, yeah,
the switch?
Red put in the chat, just flip the switch and go, because I was the only one still alive.
No. Baka and Grif were the last two remaining. Grif is like, I'm gonna try to distract them, and I
didn't
need
say
to
I was
run in
gonna
and
try
click
to distract them. I said
one
I
of you
read
two
the
were
thing.
like, I need to run in and click it. So she runs in immediately, and the bees get up and go after and kill Baka. Like.
Hey, you know what? We survived that one. That's all I'm saying.
We had so much money. We had so much money in the ship too. I was like, oh my god, somebody needs to hit that lever and get the fuck out of here. Because if
I just ran and hit
got out
the
of
lever.
Yeah,
because I ran in and I was like, why is everybody dead? And then the bees start coming out from behind the freaking cabinet. And I was like, oh no, this is not going to end well.
Everybody's response
in there.
Red.
Red picked it up. You don't because that's
when the bees were chasing Chicken.
Yeah.
Red went behind him, picked it up, and took it on the ship.
The bees are always the last thing. Always the last thing to grab. You grab them early, they're gonna sit there on your ship.
And they did, and it just so happened that he took them and like hid them from everybody just unknowingly walking onto the ship.
Yeah. Well, I don't understand why he put him behind the cabinet.
He's an idiot.
Because at least we would have been able to play to get him back off.
I think Bach is right. I think he put it behind the cabinet in hopes that it was like blocked from the door so they couldn't see it, like line of sight. They wouldn't know how to get back, but they're programmed to just go back to it. Like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, as many times as I've had dogs walk in, foxes walk in, which by the way, the fox with the stupid tongue thing is one of the...
That's why we need to buy the weed killer so that we can spray the weeds.
These lazy bums. Oh
my god! Please get on to them. Please get on to them because I'm so mad for you.
Them, plus me, 5 of them. We made it all the way back, and Oak died to it. All right, he had big loot.
Oh yeah, massive.
And I was like, oh, he had the brush, a bell, a flashlight, and something else. And I was like, we need to go back for this. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna get this stuff out. And I go back, and the 4 of them sit on the ship and just watch me for some reason. I fight off the fox 3 times without dying.
It was
like
impressive.
It grabs me, and as soon as it grabs you, you full sprint away from it, and then you just keep running in one direction while it tries to pull you back, and eventually it snaps and you get free. I did that 3 times. One time it had me pinned in a corner, and there was no way I could get around it. It walked up the corner a little bit, so I got around it. It grabbed me, and I got away that time. And I went back to the ship, and I was like, okay, we have enough time. We can go get this back. I go back out, nobody comes with me again, and I die.
I didn't know you wanted us to go with you.
One person needed to grab the stuff while I distracted the monster.
That's what you should have said instead of I'm gonna go get the stuff.
Somebody should have been like, I'll come with you.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna go get the stuff. I am, meaning you are gonna go get it. Why do I need
you?
One of the people that was on there
critical already.
I don't care. You die out there with loot. As long as there is only one person needs to be on the ship to survive. That's it. The rest of you people are expendable. Your life for the loot.
Well, and the thing about it is somebody that was part of that group of 4, because I think Snitty was dead with me. It was either Sentry or Snitty that was dead with me.
Sentry was still alive.
Okay, so it was Sentry that watched me die to the freaking fox. And then, so he knew that if he was going back out there was a fox that was there, and he should have gone out to help or said, hey, we need to go help Chicken because there's a fox he's got to get away from.
I got away from it 3 times, and also any one of those times somebody could have just picked it all up and left, and then all of us would have been able to survive.
I was so mad for you because I was like, why is no one helping him? He has escaped this
because
thing
when
so
Chicken says I'm gonna do something, it means y'all stay out of my way because you guys are bad at things and I'm gonna handle it, is what it means. And so we all did what he normally wants with that scenario, only he then for some reason expected something different and didn't say it.
There were 4 of you on the ship. Why?
Because
that's all I stand by. Is why was there 4 people sitting on the ship?
Because of how you said it.
No, I don't care. You could still come outside and stand. You could go outside and watch.
Sentry did go outside and watch.
Okay, I was too far away from the ship to watch. He probably just went out there and looked at the stars or something.
Well, maybe he did, but he was off the ship.
Actually, no, I went out there at one point.
You did go out with me at the first one, and did you die or did you run away?
I ended up running away because it came after me at one point.
Then you should have taken it and let me got the loot.
I didn't.
Well, why didn't you get the loot while I was chasing Baka? You should have known. If you expect us to just know these things, then
Because I probably did grab the loot and grabbed me.
I went out there to look for it. It went after you, and I was like looking around for the loot. I didn't see it, so I was like, oh, okay, maybe Chicken has the loot. And it turned back to me, and I was like, oh, I'm going to book it back to the ship.
For the record, at the moment it grabs you, it makes you drop all your stuff. So I grabbed everything like 3 times, and then I heard it running after me, and as soon as it latches onto you, I heard all the stuff drop, and I was like, no! As I'm running away looking at it, I want it.
That's probably what happened, because like I did not see it. I wasn't aware that if it grabs you, you drop all the loot.
Yeah. I wasn't aware either until the first time it grabbed me after I grabbed the loot, and then it dropped everything, and I was like, no! Let me go!
I wasn't aware either, and then I was like,
monster. New mechanics to learn.
Yeah, that one is kind of new. So,
well, then we were. I think it was Grif and I were on the boat one time, and we were sitting there, and all of a sudden we hear, we're like, we step out, stomp. And I was like, oh my god, is that a giant? We peek our head around the corner, and I was like, no.
I knew what it was because we played one of the daily challenges or whatever with Red and at some other point, and it was just like a field between the ship and the door of those things, and they didn't activate until later on in the day. So I knew, but I didn't see it when we had first gone off the ship and came back, and I heard it as I was coming back, and I was like, oh no, that's bad.
Because I got on the ship and I stood over by the cameras, and I was thinking, okay, how are we going to warn them this about it? Because I don't think anybody had walkie-talkies at the time. And I was like, how are we going to tell people that it's there? And then about that time, explosion inside the ship.
Because it shoots the outside and the splash damage goes through the wall. Like, I died to the big group of them because I thought I had made it on and I was safe when we were doing that challenge one. And I thought I was safe, huddled in the corner. You're not safe in the corner because it shoots through the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's how it got you.
Mm-hmm.
I almost died. Almost. I was critical health because I got splash damage through the wall too. But yeah, that game is so looking at it for what it is so basic, but it is so fun. Like,
you're so basic.
It is. It's like, okay, go get the loot from the building. Avoid the scaries. But all of the scaries, even if they are kind of like basic stuff, are really fun. Like the Bracken's super great, and they all have different mechanics. So some of it too is like the learning curve of how do I deal with this thing I just saw? What was that? Like the fox thing, where it's like, well, we didn't know it drops your loot when it grabs you, because other stuff doesn't necessarily make you drop your stuff. Some of those things will grab you and take it with you.
Yeah, like learning some of the mechanics, which some of the monsters I have a hard time. Like the sandworm, you can get away if you're fast enough, or you can sacrifice a piece of loot.
Oak and I did not have a chance with the sandworm.
No, we were on the ladder.
As soon as it starts, well, yeah, if you're on the ladder,
I wasn't even on the ladder. I was running to the ladder.
You have to drop whatever's heavy and full sprint.
We didn't have anything.
Straight up.
Oak and I got right out of the gate. It was on whatever the first planet is that you go to, where it's like ship lands, you literally run straight out, and the ladder is right there to go up. We ran straight out, and he was on the ladder, and I was right behind him, about to get on the ladder, and I saw the little dust particles on the screen, and I was like, shit. And it ate us.
Yep.
Both of us in one go.
Then we just had a whole conversation for like 20 minutes while y'all were working.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, most of the monsters I'm fine because you can learn how to deal with them, except for the giants. I hate the giants and the baby robots because it feels like there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, the baby robots are heat seeking too. They will absolutely look for your ass. Like they don't give up.
Full aggro you, and there's no getting away.
Also, I'm sure they all have actual names, but I don't know what they are, so we call them what we want.
They're in the computer. It tells you in the computer.
Yeah, you can go to the
I know what the Bracken is, and I know the hoarding bug, which we call the loot bug, or Yippee bug, because he is my world. Yippee!
Yep. Yippee!
And I got to give a loot bug a flashlight, and it was the best thing of the whole night.
The second, yeah, I think that was the second level because you gave him the flashlight, and there were two yippies on that same.
There were 2 yippies and 2 oozes on that
Yeah,
level.
it was really weird.
That one was one of my favorite moments too, because Sentry spent a good 5 minutes or so kiting an ooze into the battery room and locked it in there, and then because it was a double doored, it was those two and then a hallway and then more doors. So I was like, oh, he's like, yeah. He comes out so satisfied with himself. He's like, yeah, I locked the ooze, and he looks down the other hallway and there's another one coming, and he's like, oh
no,
oh, all that work just to get rid of one, and there's another one right there.
That was the one too that had the dummies on it, right?
The spring heads, yeah.
When it turned to shit real
yeah, it did.
quick.
Because I was running across a rail and I was like, okay, I can get past these guys because the ooze was just far enough up. I waited, went up for it, and I passed my entrance to the right. So I go all the way to a dead end and I'm like, oh, I'm screwed. Turn around and like everything's at me. And I was like, okay, one of these is killing me.
You know you're fucked when you hear dong. You're like, I'm gonna die. It's right here.
Yeah, how
That's
fast
right
that was
here.
too. Because one came around, like one shot around the corner, and I was like, oh shit. So I was trying to back up, and as I got up to the top, another one came out from another corner. I'm like, oh yeah, really? Deuces. I just fucking beelined it. I was like, there's a bunch of shit in here. Get out if you can. I just ran out.
I was in the ship when that was happening, and I was like looking at whoever was close to the front door and just all of the red dots right there. And I was like,
that's why I said good luck and ran. Because, I mean, there was like 8 or 9 enemies right there. And it went foobarred.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It was rough.
That game is a lot of fun. It really is.
There's one I came back and Grif goes, get the shovel. They're fighting something. Go
yeah,
kill the
Oak
bug.
was AFK and everybody else left. And I was like, okay, well, I'll stay on the ship, I guess. And I'm like, does anybody, or what do you guys do? And they're like, running from the thing. Because Red was one of the only ones with walkie. And I was like, turn around and hit it. He's like, nobody's got a shovel. I turned around and we had just bought shovels. There's like 4 of them just laying there on the ship. And I was like, okay, Oak standing AFK in the corner next to me, and I'm just waiting for him to get back.
The spider?
Yes.
There was the spider. The spider's the one that got Oak, because he came back and he's like, okay, I'm here. I was like, get a shovel and go help those idiots. Nobody took a shovel. Literally nobody has any way to defend themselves. And he goes in there and like, as soon as he gets in, dies the spider.
Yeah, I was sitting there chasing, the spider was chasing somebody. And I was trying to hit it.
I was the only one with the shovel, but you cannot really 1v1 a spider when it's like right up in your face.
Red said nobody had a shovel, so that's my fault. I took him for his word again.
Red does not listen.
No.
Yeah, I know.
That's
we know
why
that.
I was like, go get its attention. No, he doesn't want to do that.
Well,
because the spider does more damage than you hitting it with a shovel. So it's going 1v1. It's going to kill you before you can kill it.
I'm sorry. I felt bad for sending Oak to his death. I didn't realize that's what I was doing. I thought he was going to be able to help, but died instantly.
Yeah, it wasn't completely instant. I got like 2 hits in on him before he killed me. And I have the arachnophobia thing on because the word spider's in red.
So you can see it from a distance.
So it's easier to see. And the word spider was backwards. So to me, he's facing the opposite direction, but somehow he killed me.
Thought I was behind him. Turns out he's got face on both sides. Great.
Yes.
That's the dangerous, really dangerous spiders. Like, there's no winning on that one. We had a lot of fun playing that, though. I think we played that 2 weeks in a row, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah.
Yeah, because the red thing was last week, not this week.
The red thing.
Yeah, where he got
jump
killed
over the
with the
ooze.
ooze.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
it was last
yes.
week's, not this weekend.
I was like, what red thing are we discussing? There are so many.
Yes, there are.
Yeah.
We, the 3 of us have been playing Baldur's Gate as a group, and I made a mistake last night that cost us like 45 minutes.
Oh,
and I'm pretty mad. I mean,
God.
Okay, to be fair, the 45 minutes thing was not necessarily the mistake. Like, I didn't make that mistake.
No, the game just bugged out a little.
We were doing a fight in the Grimforge, and there's so many NPCs, and we had to reload it several times anyway. Like, it was just, they were like, fuck that Gith Yankee in particular, and like literally beeline for Baka every time. But
we had 2 long rests, so I could put Sanctuary on myself to keep them from doing that.
Yeah, and it still didn't help us. But at one point, like I said, there's so many NPCs in this fight. I think it's like 8 to 10 that are participating in the fight, plus your party and whatever summons you have and whatnot. So however many you have plus them. And they were like, I was like, we need to do something. I've got Gale kept getting knocked down, and I'm trying to help him, and he's up there with me. And then Chicken was like 1v1ing the main guy in the cave, and then Bach is down at the bottom or up on the stairs, and then he gets pushed back down to the bottom, and it's like, I need to do something. And I realized I had the ogre horn, so I used it to call in the ogres. And every single NPC lost their freaking minds. And not in a, like, let's all aggro to the ogres that just showed up thing. I mean, the NPCs could not think. So it would go to their turn, and then it would spend a good, like, 30 seconds to a minute on their turn, and they just didn't do anything, and it finally passed to the next person. So it's like 10, well, because I added the ogres, so 13 minutes per round are just the NPCs thinking about what they can or can't do and then doing nothing at all. It was ridiculous. Like, I don't know why it broke like that. We could hit them.
Sometimes the game just gets stuck in a loop to where the character there's so many processes, and the characters kind of get lost in their strings of actions that it just kind of, which I'm glad that at least has a redundancy
to where the turn.
where if it gets stuck for so long, it just passes the turn.
Yeah, so all the
instead of getting stuck forever.
In the early builds, the beta, it did not have that. So like the Harvey fight, they would get hung up like that, and it was just indefinite.
Ugh.
Yeah, I had a couple early on where it finally would like crash the game out because it was thinking for too long, basically. And so I'm glad they fixed that to put in a failsafe for that. But oh man, like we could hurt them, but they would just stand there, which was kind of nice. We're like, we'll just whittle them down and whatever. So we had decided that that's how we would do things. But there were some NPCs that are passive NPCs around that you're essentially trying to save them. It was late in my defense, and I was tired and not thinking clearly. But I was like, I'm going to shoot an ice arrow at the bottom of this ladder and hit that guy that's down there. And maybe that means anybody else that tries to climb up the ladder will fall down. There was an NPC that, when I shot it, took damage from that. And then the NPCs got angry, too, that we were trying to save. And I'm like, we're going to have to reload this. We'd been in that fight because of the time thing of them passing turns and whatnot. We'd been in that fight for 45 minutes. So I cost us 45 minutes of our time because I forgot that ice arrow would hurt things. I'm sorry. I made a mistake, you guys. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. We'll just go through it again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Man. I'm sorry.
This time we'll summon the ogres and break it early.
Yeah, I mean, if I summon them early on, maybe they can actually get into the fight instead of standing there like a bunch of idiots, too.
And not everything will try to swarm me before I can get a sanctuary.
Yeah, my first turn will be summon those guys in. But the downside is they will hurt the... You know what I'm really wondering about, though? Those NPCs are essentially yellow. They're not one way or the other, necessarily. I wonder if the ogres will attack them anyway. I'm hoping not. Because if they do, we have to reload the fight and do it without the ogres.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah. But we won't know until close to the end of the fight, because they won't start targeting them probably until a lot of the main enemies are out of the way.
We'll just kill them.
The ogres?
Yeah.
What if they start? Okay. We'll see how it goes.
I'll kill them. That's a lot. Like, I've seen people use them, and they just stay out. Like, they back out of the fight and let the ogres take a bunch of damage, and then near the end, they just finish them off. So you don't got to pay them and nothing. It's one of those things where they're evil. It's all hell. Why not?
So. I guess I just feel bad for,
Oh, yeah. Feel bad about that when they're eating other children.
Okay, fine. You're right. That's probably a good way to do
just because you outsmarted them and got them to help you doesn't mean that they're automatically good.
True.
They are, chaotic evil in the deepest way possible. It's just that one knows how to talk
they're
because...
Chaotic. They're neutral evil.
Yeah, which is why you can, reason with them to be on your side, because they're neutral about
But yeah,
it.
the only reason one of them is smart is because he ate somebody with a fucking belt of intellect or whatever the hell, the crown of intellect or whatever the hell it was.
Is that what it is? Is that why he's smart?
Yep. He
Oh.
ate somebody with because I think it's a crown.
How do you know that? Does he say that? I didn't recall hearing it.
I think it's if you do the right dialogue choices, he tells you that the reason he's smarter than the other one is because he ate somebody with a crown on, and because you're supposed to wear it, or it's a belt of intellect. It's something that you're supposed to wear.
If we kill him,
and
if
you do kill him, you can get it from him, and that's how you can get like a 17 or 18 intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I did that on my sorcerer because they are charisma based on casting, so my sorcerer was wearing that, so my intelligence was higher.
Yeah, my intelligence is 8.
Yeah, it's a warped headband of intellect, which he wouldn't be allowed to wear properly because his head is so big. But since he ate it, it gave him the 17 intel. Yeah. So
interesting.
It's kind of disgusting now. This particular circlet is covered in yellow slime and has pieces of half-digested mutton stuck behind the gems. It is disgusting.
I mean, it's gross, but it's effective.
Mutton. Yeah, it still works. It makes you smart.
Well,
so we may end up killing them anyway. So,
I mean, I'm not afraid of it. Those motherfuckers are neutral evil. They're bad monsters. So
I saw you look up. Is it storming, Oak? Okay.
It is.
Oh, is it? Not here.
Well, Oak's on the other side of town. It just hasn't gotten here yet.
Well, it might not get here, depending on the
it's
angle
just
of it.
Lightning.
I'm gonna look at it now.
Loud thunder.
Because the small man is running around outside playing. Oh yeah, it's gonna come over here.
Oh well then, he might have to go back inside.
Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna come over here.
Oh, I was gonna tell you. I know I sent you a message about it yesterday, Oak. Oak gifted me Doom because for some reason it's not on Game Pass, but the second one is, and that's dumb. So whatever.
Yeah, it's very dumb.
So I'm playing the first Doom, and one of the issues that I actually talked to Oak about earlier in the week was sometimes I feel like when I'm finally slipping into the groove in combat is when it's over. Like the combat doesn't last long enough. I run out of enemies, I guess. And I'm over halfway now in the game, so some of the combats are lasting a little bit longer, but it's still kind of one of those moments when it's over. But I got to Evil Bunny Man, and that's like the first. It feels like the first boss fight. I don't think it is the first boss fight, but it feels like the first actual boss fight because it had mechanics and like 2 phases essentially and things like that. And that was a fun as fuck fight. I really, really liked that one. I was like, yeah, this is what I want things to feel like. This is fun. I don't even need like 30,000 things. I just need one really big thing apparently.
I think that's what Doom does well, is like early on in the game, they'll introduce the big enemies as mini bosses and then they become normal enemies as you go on. But then once you get like towards the end, they introduce real bosses.
Yeah.
And changes that dynamic of combat. Like it's a good way to keep the game refreshed as you keep going through instead of it just being mauling the same enemies all the way through. It's like, yeah, you maul a bunch. Oh, look at this new big enemy. All right, you had a little trouble. Okay, now he's a normal enemy. And you keep going on like that. And it kind of escalates the difficulty until you get to the end. And it's like, oh yeah, you've had fun with all these little guys and enemies. Here's a real boss. You're like, oh, okay, this is different.
He was pretty cool though.
Hey, it takes a special game to make it like still feel new towards the end of the game.
Yeah. And I mean,
I've heard the sequel just ramps that up.
Well, it does. Like the intensity, it's one of those where it doesn't reset you from 1 to 2, so you continue on your slope instead of having to go back and start over essentially.
Which is why I'm looking forward to the next iteration later this year that's set in medieval times. I think that's going to be interesting. I want that shield though, man. With that saw on the outside of it, it's going to be so badass.
I keep forgetting, by the way, that I have a chainsaw. It is like cool as fuck to watch something like just get sawed in half or whatever. But I'll be like,
accidentally hit it all the time. I still forget that there's no reload.
No reload, and then you hit it. But I always do that after something's dead. So I'm hitting the reload button on, on habit, but it's not reload, and then my chainsaw pops up, and I'm like, why didn't I use that? I'm so disappointed in my lack of chainsaw murder. But
Gotta get that ammo.
I forget. It's not that I don't have ammo. It's that I never use it because I forget to use it. Ah. And then when I hit the reload after everything's dead, I'm like, would have been a good idea.
That game's so good. So good.
It's been very enjoyable. So I have no idea why the two main characters hate each other, because it seems like they're trying to work for the same goal, but they dislike each other. And I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to keep killing. Y'all can...
I mean, I feel like that's life in general, right? You have two people that hate each other, but they actually want the same goal after all.
I mean, it sounds like they do. They want to use the hell energy, and I think he's mad because she figured out how to do it better than him or something and started a cult.
Doom Guy's whole goal is to kill demons.
Yeah.
Kill demons, and if he inadvertently saves the world, that's cool too.
Early on, the guy's like, if you break those, it means that we can't use the thing. And Doom Guy immediately breaks it. And I was like, so that's how we're going to be about it. Okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it.
Doom Guy gives absolutely no fuck. If there were negative fucks, it would be in his category. Like, he don't give a single fuck. I mean,
and I like that the guy that was like, you better not do that or else we can't do the thing. As soon as I did it, he's like, okay, well, here's where I need you to go next. It's like, well, I guess you need me. You can't,
part of me wants
me on
to
that.
send Doom Guy to Avernus and just see what happens.
And Baldur's Gate, oh my god.
Yeah, be like, here's a bunch of demons for you, Doom Guy. Have fun, and come back a couple hours later, and it's like Avernus is cleared.
Well, that's the first layer then.
Yeah, just let him keep going. Make a whole set of games.
Yeah, you got the 9 hells. Get in there, buddy.
First of all, I would love to watch Doom Guy beat the out of Raphael's face.
The crossovers
like,
that'll never happen.
Who do you think you are? And then, a couple minutes later, he's like, oh God, please stop.
And they're like,
this is just too much fun.
Nah.
This is fun.
Yeah. Those style ones are not going to be any kind of match for him. I would like to see him fight Asmodean, though.
Interesting. I would watch that.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think that's all I haven't had a whole lot of free time. We've been playing. I don't even know what we did this week. Oh, we tried out the. You want to talk about the tavern game before we go, Chicken?
Oh yeah.
Because you were pretty impressed.
Yes, there is a game. The demo is out on
Steam.
It's called Ale and Tail Tavern. First Pint, I think it is the demo version. Ale and Tail First Pint. Or
It's
Ale and
tail like
Tavern.
tall tail, not like you have a tail.
Yeah, TALE. Ale and Tail Tavern First Pint. It's a tavern sim game. So you load in, you have a tavern that's run down in front of you, and you have to go in. The tavern simulation style is a little bit like Plate Up, except made in Unreal Engine. So you have to put your equipment and stuff down. You have to a wash tub and a cooking pot and brewing for ale and things like that. And you have to buy cups and mugs and tables and decorations, and pretty much you got to buy all the stuff to run a tavern.
Mm-hmm.
You got a broom where you got to keep your tavern clean. Like it's really a lot of running the tavern, and it's a pretty well-based system to running a tavern, and that's pretty fun on its own because we enjoy that kind of simulation style game. But the outside part of it is where it gets real fun. It's an open world game, so not only do you have this tavern that you have to take care of, you can explore, not in the demo. You've got a little dome around you, but outside of that, there are other towns and other places, fishing holes, swamp, other places that you have to go to gather stuff for your menu. You have a garden in the back that you have to take care of. You can grow stuff and kind of add stuff to your menu. And as you level up, you expand the tavern, so you make it nice and bigger. And then there's fishing, like all sorts of little things. Apparently there's going to be a courier service, so people can call like takeout orders. So you've got to have somebody who's going to do delivery. They'll have to run out. You got to have somebody who's going to defend too, because your tavern will get attacked by zombies or other things. So you've got to make sure you're defending it too.
Oh, people get drunk and you got to poke them with the broom to make them leave.
Yeah, they'll get drunk and like they'll just take up a seat. So you've got to get your broom to like get them out, get out of here, and then they'll just like stagger off.
That's my
Because if you
favorite
get too
part.
many drunk people, you can't bring in anymore. So you got to kind of scoot them out. You can open and close your tavern as freely as you want.
Yeah,
So
you're like, oh, I'm out of everything. Close the tavern.
close it up, send them off, build up your inventory again, open it back up, make more money. It's a really nice kind of system that they've got here. We played the demo, pretty good, really worth looking at if you like games like Played Up or other simulation style games like that. It's 4 players. I asked to see if it was going to be more than 4 players because that game would be pretty neat with like 5 or 6. Because if the world is that big, like you're going to need more people to be doing things. But it's kind of neat. I like it a lot. It's a very, very fun premise. So definitely check that out if it's your kind of cup of tea or cup of ale. And see if you would you like it. Remember, it's Tail and Ale. Well, let me look at it real quick.
First pint.
Ale and Tail Tavern First Pint.
That's the demo to try it out. You can only play to level 3.
Yeah, that's the demo. The actual one would be the
Ale
other
and Tail
one.
Tavern.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is good. It's good stuff.
It is weird that's not attached to the same thing though.
I think they wanted a fully separate things
so that you could do the.
Because I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be released as an early access game,
or if they're gonna wait until it's fully done.
Well, I think it might be fully done.
Oh. Well, I mean, they have like things are voice acted. Some of it's very questionable, but
what do you expect from an indie game like that?
It is voice acted and things like that. So yeah, it feels like they've got a lot of stuff already lined up for it.
And like when you're playing the demo and whatnot, it's got this whole thing on the side of it that shows everything that's coming in, like the different zones, all the different equipment, furniture, raids, like all sorts of stuff that like coming to it. Seems like it's like a great foundation for the start of a full game.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean. It says wishlist full game, so I don't know. I added it to the wishlist. I highly recommend you people, if you like it, go ahead and hit it with the wishlist too, because it feels like it could be an actual release game, which is rare in this day and age to actually release a full indie game instead of hitting early access first. So
yeah,
I don't know. It seems like it'd be pretty cool. Every comment, because I'm on the Discord, every single person that comes into that Discord is like, yo, when we getting this? I played it. I want it now. This is a lot of fun. There's a lot to it. I really want to play it. Right now, the rumor is early September.
It says Q3, so that'd be about right.
So it's looking like there's weapons too, swords, crossbows. Like you can go out and hunt raider camps and things like that. Like it's crazy how many things there are in here.
Look, I don't care about any of that. I just want to poke drunk people with my broom. Get out my bar.
That's fine. You guys can run the tavern. Me and Baka will go run the forest.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. Finally, a restaurant game that Baka will like to play with us.
I know, right? It gives him like he was standing out front of the tavern, just kind of sitting there, and I was like, "Bro, go do your job. Go find me some mushrooms or kill some boars and get us some meat." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's right. I could do that." So he racked up some meat, which is fun. He found a bunch of boar meat, brought it back, cooked it, added it to the menu so we could serve it, and then when we're out, we take it off the menu.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a neat thing that you can do. Also, you can try to change their order one time. So if they order something you don't have, take it off the menu, ask them to change their order, and then you can serve them. So it's a nice little forethought thing that they had to allow you to change orders.
Like, oh no, I just sold our last thingy. And you're like, sir, I'm sorry, we're out of... Do you want the bread? Because that's it.
Do you want some bread?
Do you need bread?
The water bread?
The water bread. Yes. I just thought you'd want to talk about that because I'm interested in it for sure. Like, I'm ready for the past level 3 experience.
Yes, I am totally ready for more. Like, I want to see what the full game has in this, because if it's what he already showed, it sounds exciting.
If you're playing the demo, you have to be a dude. Apparently, in the full game, there'll be male models and females, but in the demo, you're a dude.
Yep.
So,
So no female avatars right now, but apparently they are in there. But this is just your introduction to the game.
I mean,
try the systems.
Deep Rock doesn't have female at all, so.
Yeah.
Dwarves are just born from rocks.
Well, it's trust me, it's been when Alyssa was playing with us, it's been many a discussion because I was like, I don't like that. There needs to be an option.
Rock and stone.
Rock and stone. Yep. Too funny.
Anything else?
No, that's
Good.
it.
Okay. Well then.
Well, we do appreciate everybody that hangs out with us every other week at Infinite Respawn. Make sure that you hit that sub button as well as the little bell so you get that notification when this goes live. Also go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313. We're getting closer to the fall. That means Chicken gets to play some games and y'all get to watch him and stuff. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/MDBOaktree. We're Infinite Respawn. I'm Oaktree.
I'm Grif.
I'm Chicken.
I'm back up.
Bye.
See you.